Hi, my name is Quanisha, and welcome to my book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I recently read. Today's book is called Caught Between My Husband and a Hustler by K.L. Hall. And y'all, okay, the heavy hitters. The male main characters is Rio and Cap, and the female main characters is Hermes and Tia. Now, Hermes and Cap are married. They have 2 daughters, okay? In the beginning of the book, there's a knock, 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 stop knocking at the door, okay? Hermes is like, who the fuck is that? Tia is the one at the door. And Tia tells her that she's fucking on Cap. Cap is Tia's husband, okay? And she's like, I'm fucking on Cap and I got his baby. She's like, how long has it been going on? She said it's been going on for a long time. But Cap said he loves her and they getting divorced. And she looked at her like, yo, you might be out your rabbit ass mind. Tells her to get her and her dusty ass car off her property. So she ends up leaving. But then Hermes said, fuck this shit. Now Cap is a lawyer, right? So she decides to go down to his law firm. Now Tia used to work at Cap's law firm as a filer or whatever fuck, but she got fired, right? So once she got fired, she decided to go woman to Hermes, and it didn't work out in her favor. So anyway, Hermes goes to the law firm. The reception's like, oh, he has a client. She like, fuck having a fucking client, right? So she goes in, she tells Cap, I need to talk to you, and I need to talk to you now. He's like, can we do it later? She said, nigga, now. And he said, well, I have a client. She said, okay, so since you want to do this shit in front of your fucking client, let's do it, bitch. You got a bitch pregnant? He's like, oh, I wanted to tell you, the client is sitting there. She looks at the client like, I apologize, whatever the fuck, right? Boom. She goes back home. Cap is, oh, I apologize. She's like, fuck you, right? Now Rio comes maybe the next day and has a envelope full of money, tells her it's for Cap. She's like, bet, I'll give it to Cap. She invites Rio in. They have a little drinky drink. She sends him on about his business, right? She sees the money. She says, oh, I'm going to spend this shit, right? So she takes the envelope, takes her 2 daughters the next day, and they go shopping. They come back home and they spends the coin, right? Well, a couple of days later or so, Rio goes to Cap's law firm because he's supposed to be his lawyer, right? Now Rio was the client that was sitting there, okay, whilst they was arguing about him getting this bitch pregnant. Right now Rio is needed a lawyer because he got set up by somebody. He didn't know who he got set up by, and he had a case for having a gun that wasn't registered to him, apparently, right? Boom. So anyway, Rio goes to him and said, you supposed to be on my lawyer. What's going on with my case? I haven't got any updates. And Cap is like, well, I ain't got no money. So you ain't give me no money. So who the fuck is supposed to be your lawyer? He said, I gave your bitch money. He was like, you gave who money? He said, yo bitch, right? So he said, I bet I'm gonna handle it and I'm gonna give you any updates, right? So he goes home. He's screaming and yelling for Hermes. He's like, where the fuck the money at? She was like, what money? He said, stop playing with me. She was like, okay, I took me and your daughters to go get new clothes. He's like, all right, bitch, you playing on my life and you playing with my family safety. So this is what you gonna do. You gonna get dressed up like you a prostitute, and you gonna take this money and you gonna go down to Rio's business and give it to him. So he sends her ass on down to the club because Rio got a club or bar, whatever the fuck. She goes in there, she gives Rio the money. She's like, I'm sorry for taking your money. And he's like, what you did with the money? And she's like, I took me and my daughters on a shopping spree. And he's like, all right, cool, whatever, like it ain't even my issue. But then he shows her to a separate part of the club where the freaks go, okay, where the sex and shit is going on, right? So he goes in there and basically breaks her back in, and she decides to go home before her girls get up, right? Boom. Cap is still trying to, I'm sorry her, right? So she decides she's gonna work on her marriage, or think about working on it, right? So she goes down to the club and tells him, hey, that was the first and last time. He's like, you need to stop fucking lying because you know you love this dick, right? So she is like, I don't know, right? She ends up getting caught, gets shot 3 times, 1 in the stomach, 1 in the collarbone, and 1 in the arm, or some shit like that, right? So now she's in the hospital. Those bullets were meant for Rio. Now he had a hit put out on him, right? He comes to find out it was Cap who put out a hit out on him, and this nigga named Carlo. Carlo was supposed to be related to Rio or some shit. So Rio offed Carlo, and then Cap find out, and he tried to get some other people to protect him because he already knew Rio was coming for him, right? Now his wife is in the hospital. She was in the hospital for like 3 weeks carrying on. She was told she can't have fucking kids no more. Well, somewhere down the line, the doctor said, oh, your fallopian tube healed itself, so now you can have fucking kids. So she's like, ah, shit, that's crazy. She's falling in love with Rio at this point in time, and he's talking about he want to marry her and have kids with her and all this and yada yada yada. So she's thinking, okay, we could finally have another kid. Well, Tia, the baby mama, right, she was pregnant. Well, she gave birth to the baby early, so he moved her into the guest house, right? Ernest was still there, so a box of rocks for a fucking brain that this bitch got, right? So boom, she's upset, and he's like, listen, I'm trying to take care of my child, right? Well, where was I going with? Yeah, Tia was there. So Rio finds out that Cap is the one who's trying to offer him. He's like, I bet. Well, boom, the baby gets sick. They have Hermes do like help with the baby, and she like, don't ever let me do this shit again. That bitch ain't coming in this house. I don't want her around my kids. And he's like, no, don't worry, let's work it out. Let's go to counseling. And she said, counseling, bitch? We ain't going to counseling. This marriage is damn near over. And she's falling in love with Rio, so she's tasting that freedom, right? So boom, the little girl has a birthday party. Cap invites Rio, and Hermes is like, oh shit, my side nigga is here. And then Tia, who wasn't supposed to come out, she was supposed to have her baby in the guest house, decided she was gonna come out and announce that this nigga had a baby with her, and it's a boy. And everybody was giving like, ooh, when I leave here, bitch, we finna talk about the tea. And so now everybody knows that he has another baby, and Hermes is pissed, and he's talking about, we gonna talk about it, let's go, because you ain't leaving me, it's till death. Basically, that's what he told her. So then they go to counseling, and she basically tells him, nigga, it's a divorce, I don't want you no more. So he goes to Tia and tells Tia, when he went to talk to Tia, Tia was talking to somebody, and the guy said, I got it, I'll handle it, right? Boom. So he tells Tia, we're getting divorced, so it's me and you, so move into the house, right? That pissed me off so bad. So I'm like, Hermes, bitch, are you stupid? Are you dumb, right? So she's already telling Rio that she wants to off her husband. Okay, so he said, bet, I got it. Now Rio had told her at one point in time that his mama died, he didn't know his daddy, and he had 2 sisters. One and both of them had babies by an ancient nigga. Now the nephew, and he had 2 nephews, right? The youngest sister had a baby, so he couldn't like get rid of get her away from the baby daddy. And the oldest one had a older son, right? The older nephew he brung to the birthday party. So boom, Cap is like, oh, you trying to leave me, you with somebody else? She like, nigga, no, right? So boom, come to find out so she's thinking, she hears commotion. Now Tia's in the house, and Cap hears some commotion. He's like, somebody trying to break in the house. Where's my gun at? Tia's like, I put it in the safe to get away from the baby, safe for the baby. So there's a gun put to his head, and it's Rio tell him, where's my money at? I want my $5 million. And he talk about, I can give it to you some other time, like I can't give it to you right now. He's like, I'm not trying to hear that shit, right? So Cap is looking at Tia, because now Tia got a gun apparently, and he's like, kill this nigga, right? And Hermes comes down there with a gun, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? She's like, Rio, like, kill him, basically, right? Now Cap is looking at Hermes and telling her with a gun, because she got into the safe and got the gun. So he's telling her, kill this nigga, kill this nigga, and she's looking at Rio like, kill this nigga. So Cap is like, oh, you think he here for you? No, he's here for his money, right? So he tells Tia, go upstairs and get his money so he can go upstairs and get like $500K so he can get on by his business, right? So he gets $500K, and the sister gives it to him, and he's like, thank you. And then it comes out that Rio and Tia are siblings. They was in cahoots this whole fucking time, but Tia didn't know that he was fucking on Hermes. Okay, she was gonna get her money one way or another. So Cap said, you really want to be with me? Kill Rio. And he said that to Tia, right? So Tia ends up killing Rio. Now Cap and Tia are now in prison. Hermes was able to get a divorce. She was sad because she loved Rio, and he lied to her. He was about to leave her high and dry. Rio ends up dying. She ends up getting alimony and moving into a new home, and she stopped by his Rio's grave and told him she loved him, and that was the end of the motherfucking book. There was some things I left out, so if you haven't read it, go ahead and read it, girl, and come back and tell me what you thought of it. But if you had read it, bitch, I thought Tia had a box for a fucking brain like fucking Hermes, but bitch, she didn't. She was playing a long game, and we love that shit. Anyways, y'all, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I appreciate it. Okay, bye.